All right, yeah, that's no problem. Okay, so my name's Steve Mang. I'm an assistant professor of teaching in the chemistry department. And the class that I am delivering online in the winter is Advanced Analytical Chemistry, which is a combined lecture and lab class. So it's a big class. Two lecture meetings, one discussion, and one lab for every student every week. And so going along with the fact that this was a big class, there was a big Canvas site previously. So I will scroll quickly through my syllabus, and it was way too long. Like, there's a lot going on in the syllabus. And talking to Fanny, this is one of the first things that she honed in on, saying that is too much. Students aren't going to read all that, which is probably true. And so she convinced me that this is one of the things that needed to be changed when I restructured everything. The other thing that needed to be changed was the fact that I organized this class around modules, but since the class is so big, these modules get huge, right? So week one module has all this stuff in it. Once the labs start, these modules get even longer. Now there's lecture slides, there's in-class stuff, and there's what's going on in the lab. So I taught this class as a flipped class almost, for a year. So there are lecture slides and lecture videos that were posted on Canvas. There were in-class Canvas assignments that the students did. We were in the annual learning pavilion, so they sat at tables together. They worked on computers on Canvas. So in one sense, this class was basically already a remote class, except they were coming together and doing it, physically in the same room. And so the challenge is, how do we make this thing friendlier to interact with on Canvas? Because all the material is already online. But we don't want students getting lost in this maze of reading links and lecture slides and all this stuff. So as you've seen this in most of the other presentations, the class is now organized around these weekly buttons where there's a landing page and then you click on the weekly buttons. And, Fanny suggested that I do this, and it made perfect sense immediately because it's a good idea, but also because I also have two kids in remote learning, and their school uses Canvas. And I'm a kindergarten. This is my kindergartner's page. I also have a fourth grader. As a parent of a kindergartner, I'm not that different from a college student. I'm overwhelmed. I have a lot to keep track of. And simpler is better. I get lost not that often with the organization of this kindergarten Canvas site. So if it's the Wednesday, I go and I click on the Wednesday, and then here's the stuff I have to print or whatever. So in my Canvas site, we have the same organization. So let's say that it's week 8. I click the week 8 button, and here's the stuff I have to do each day of week 8. So for the lecture, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, there's the readings. So do it by the lecture time. There's a video, watch it by the lecture time. There's a lecture meeting, and then there's an in-class assignment, which they will do during the lecture. For the lab portion, so we're going to do that in breakout rooms, trying to replicate this flipped classroom experience during the scheduled lecture time. During the scheduled lab time, we're going to try to replicate the working in lab groups experience. And the way we're going to do that is with this website called Twine. So you may not have heard of this thing unless you're really into like Dungeons and Dragons during the pandemic, which I'm not, but I know about this page now. Twine is a website that's meant for nonlinear storytelling. So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of deal. And in an analytical chemistry lab, part of the process is teaching students how to make decisions about performing an experiment. So you try something, you get a result, you look at that result, and then you say, okay, I need to adapt my process in this way, or okay, that's good enough, I can move on. So we have this Twine set up that lets students replicate that even though they can't actually put their hands on the instruments. So this is a gas chromatography mass spectrometry experiment. We have the learning objectives are the first thing they see. They put in their group name, and then they're going to do this as a group. So then they'll get the first thing. Okay, you show up in lab, you go to your bench, you make some solutions. How much volume are we going to use to make that solution? It's something that they would have to discuss in their group, confirm with their TA, and then do it and move on. So I can't walk through this whole thing right now because I have 4 seconds, and there's a lot of this, we're trying to replicate a 7-hour lab. This is probably going to be a 1-hour experience at the most. But this is how we're trying to replicate the decision-making, the interaction with the TA, the interaction with the group members that would normally happen in this lab. We're going to do it right here in an embedded HTML inside a Canvas page. And we'll see. We haven't done this yet, so we'll see how it works. But for the moment, it seems like it's going to be a reasonable solution.